let you see any negative reviews. And and back in the day, I mean, goodness sakes, if you were from LA and you got a review in the Detroit Daily News, you never read it, you never heard about it, because it was all the way across the country. Now everything's online, and there's good and bad to that. The bad thing is you get to see every single stinking negative comment and opinion that somebody might have of you and your music. The good thing is when you're feeling useless, and you can go online and you can play a song for people, and they come back with just the most beautiful responses you could think of. And you suddenly realize, oh yeah, this is what I do. And surprisingly, there are people out there that are really glad that I do what I do. And it reaches them at certain moments. And the stories I get to hear are just phenomenal. I would have no other way of knowing these stories if it wasn't for social media, because a lot of people aren't able to make it to my concerts and tour schedules and life timing and everything like that. So yeah, my fans mean the world to me.
Ted Yoder, the meme. What do you think about that?
Ridiculous. Go at it.
What drives you to play the hammered dulcimer day in and day out?
I actually heard a YouTube video of Acoustic Alchemy, and there was this kind of interview process going on, and they asked the guys separately, what would you do if you weren't doing music? And I think they all had an answer, and some were totally bizarre. One wanted, Fred White wanted to be a lumberjack. He's the keyboard player, which is just like, wow, okay. And as I sat there thinking about that question, I don't know if I have any other answer. I don't want to do anything else. Could I do something else? Yeah, I could. I'm able to do something else. But I wouldn't be as happy, and it's just that much of a part of me. So a lot of times people ask too, or they make statements like, you should be able to separate, your passion or what you do and who you are and that kind of thing. And to me, the whole thing is like this weird Venom and Spider-Man weird interlacing thing where you can't separate one from the other a lot of times. And that was a very obscure reference, but anyway, I can't imagine doing anything else, and it's just like I said earlier, it's just amazing I get to do what I do. So why would I want to do something else?
What is the legacy that you want to leave in the world?
Should have seen this one coming.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there you
go. The older I get, the more I realize I'm like my father. And I don't know how else to explain him other than he was a peacemaker. Most of all, he couldn't stand to see his friends and family at odds and fighting and being unkind, and it's the same way with me and my family, my immediate family, my kids and my brothers and sisters. But I can see how this extends to my online family and my fan family. No matter who we are and what we believe politically, religiously, I think there's always room for understanding and love and being human. And I know some people might think that that's not a passionate enough of a stance, or a hard of enough stance on something, that you have to be dogmatic about things. But I think in general, if I came down to being dogmatic on something, it's just like, shut your mouth and ask yourself if you would say that to somebody's face. Or if you are that person who doesn't care and says stuff to people's faces anyway, I wonder if you have any children and if you've heard them talk unkindly to each other or to somebody else. And that's always affected me greatly and has been a big motivator. Yeah. So that's an awfully long phrase for a legacy, but I want to leave kindness and goodness. It's like the Army always says, leave it better than when you got there. That just popped into my head because of a football thing that happened. I can't remember who was playing. I know Army was playing at some place, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Oklahoma. And someone took a picture of the locker room after Army left, and it was spotless. And Army lost a very hard-fought game. And it would be very difficult in those times to do the right thing. And I respect the hell out of that. That you can do the right thing even if it's the hardest thing in the world to do. And to me, that's leaving this earth better than it was when you were here.
On a lighter note, the final question is, what are the new up-and-coming events in Ted Yoder's life that you want everyone to know about?
I don't know if I want to give away any secrets. Upcoming events that I want, or just...
By the time this is published, we'll probably be talking about it already.
We're going to start a fan club or an inner circle or whatever you want to call it. I have found over the years, especially since 2016, but even way beyond that, there's fans and friends who have been with us ever since 2010, when we first started going full-time and doing stuff on YouTube. And those are people we hold dear to us. We have life changes that go that have happened in those years for us and for them. And we want to create a place where we're sharing more and more intimate, just day-to-day things. And that's what we intend this fan club to be, is a connection point for those who really want to connect. And that way, when I do see them on the road and in a concert or something like that, there's even more history there that you can draw from than saying, hey, I follow you on Facebook. That's really big. Again, the relational side of things. So that's coming up. Of course, I'm always brainstorming on what the next album is going to be. I have 2 albums that are turning 10 years old in the next couple years, and so we're going to do some very special, at least to us. We hope we can make it special for other people too, but we're going to do some special editions of those albums. And those will be coming up in 2019 and 2020, God willing, and if all things go well. So I think that's it.
On the lighter note, there will be hoodies.
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 Hoodies, yes. In Indiana, we